Hi, I'm Jelena,
I'm David.
and welcome to our tutorial on Supta Padangusthasana. It's one of the last poses in the primary series that we do.
Yep.
Third last, second last, third last.
Supta,
Urva Setu.
and then Ubaya, Urdhva, Setu. Fourth last.
Fourth last.
And it means reclined, big toe pose. Yep, in Sanskrit.
It's a challenging pose. It's not an easy one.
Yeah. Traditionally, you would have, gone pretty much all the way through primary series before you get to this pose. It looks easy because you're lying down, but it's not really easy.
It's maybe easier than the standing version of it.
Yeah, you don't have to balance.
You're on the ground, but yeah. All right. I don't know the count for this one. I always mess it up.
Oh, you want to try it?
No. It's the highest we count in the primary series. So you count me.
Okay. So, from downward dog, Supta, inhale, you jump through and lie back. Exhale, there's no count, so there's no movement. And then we go to the first side, Ashtanga, inhale, the right leg up, catch the big toe. And Nava, exhale, fold into the state of the asana. We'll give you more of the details later. We'll just go through the Vinyasa count right now. And so the drishti is towards the big toe. And then after 5 breaths here, dasha, inhale, head down. Ekadasha, exhale, leg to the side. And this is another state of the asana. So we have another drishti, parshva drishti, side drishti. So you're going to look towards the left. 5 breaths here. Dwadasha, inhale, right leg in. Trayodasha, exhale, chin to shin. Chaturdasha, inhale, your head down only. And then Panchadasha, exhale, right leg down. And then we continue right away on the left side. Shodasha, inhale, left leg up. Saptadasha, exhale, chin to shin. 5 breaths here. Ashtadasha, inhale, head down. Yekuna vimshatihi, exhale, leg to the side. Parshvadrishti this time to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 breaths here. Yeka vimshatihi, inhale, left leg up. Or vimshati, inhale, left leg up. Yeka vimshatihi, exhale, chin to shin. Dwa vimshati, inhale, head down only. Trayo vimshatihi, release your left leg down. And now we have the first time this shows up in the practice, Chakrasana Vinyasa. So we go Chatur Vimshatihi, inhale, roll back into Chaturanga Dandasana, exhale here. Pancha Vimshatihi, inhale, upward dog, and Shat, exhale, downward dog. Good. Right?
Yes. I always know that it's Chaturam Shatahi for the Vinyasa. So even if I mess up everything else, I know that's the count for that.
Yeah.
I can catch at the end.
That's the key to learning the Vinyasa count, if you're trying to learn it in Sanskrit, is to come up with little landmarks. So like if you just memorize the state of the asana,
Yeah.
then you don't have to count through it all to figure out where you are.
Or I'll also memorize the sides because sometimes, so I know Shodasha, the left side starts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, first vinyasa, the left side.
So then if I mess up somewhere along the way, then there's like these points of catching. But memorizing each state of vinyasa for this one, I find it really tricky.
Yeah.
Because there's so many of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. So Ashtau, and then
Ekadasha.
and then Saptadasha, and Yakuna
Vimshatahi.
Yeah. Whatever, right? Look, you don't have to learn the Sanskrit count, but if you do, it really deepens the practice. It makes you really focus on the vinyasa. And we have a course for it called Learn to Count. So we'll put a link to it here. And it's just about that, learning the Vinyasa count for the primary series, teaching it in manageable steps.
Yeah, and learning the count, like I've been practicing it for so long. This one I openly mess up, and I know I always mess
It up too. I messed it
Yeah.
up very.
And that's just part of it. That's fine. But even if you don't remember the actual count, studying it, you learn the breath and the movements, and you become so precise about that. So then, even if you can't call out the number in Sanskrit, you still know exactly what you are supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, everybody thinks they know it when they start the counting, and then when they start learning the count, they're like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, there's so
they're always
many little
surprised.
details.
Yeah. Okay, back to the posture. So, reclined big toe pose. There's a couple of conditions. Conditions are like they're the rules of the posture given to us by tradition, and they kind of define the shape that we're trying to be in. In Ashtanga, it's very specific, what you're trying to do a lot of the time, right? There's very, very sort of straight lines. So on Ashtau, when we inhale the right leg up, do you see how Jelena put her left arm on her thigh and her left palm flat, left arm straight? That's one condition. Okay, so your left arm is straight, left palm flat on the thigh, and then also watch Jelena's left foot as her right leg comes up. She's going to keep the left foot pointed, so not flexed, pointed. Yeah, not rolled out to the side, pointed. Okay, and this right leg comes up, and then probably most of us will have to lift a little bit to catch it, but Jelena doesn't. So she brings the leg all the way up, keeps the leg straight, catches the big toe, and then Nava, exhale, folds into the state of the asana, and the drishti is towards the big toe. Remember, you don't have to see whatever it is you're looking at, but it gives you a direction. So it means that you're not rounding your back, bringing your forehead to your knee like that. You're trying to bring your chin towards your knee more.
This is so great. It's so much easier.
So much easier, yeah.
A little movement.
And don't cheat it by bending this leg. That's what everybody does, right? Chin to the shin and the leg. So you're meeting one condition, but you're kind of getting rid of the other. So you have to try to do your best to do both conditions. Do your best to keep the leg straight. Do your best to get the chin towards the knee and the drishti towards the foot. So this is the first state of the asana. Also, watch Jelena's right elbow. So see, she's not letting it kind of flare out to the side, and that will hike up the upper trapezius and stuff. She's going to try to bring the elbow in a little bit towards the calf. All right, and then dasha, inhale, just the head comes down, and this is something we were always getting caught out for in the lead class. I've been shouted at many times by my teacher for going into the next vinyasa too soon. So you only bring your head down on dasha, inhale, and then yekadasha, exhale, leg to the side. Let the arm stay straight. It doesn't have to stay high. The leg can come down beside you. You're not trying to get the leg up as high as you can. That's not the posture. Okay, so let the leg come out to the side and try your best to keep the opposite shoulder and hip and heel on the floor. Okay? Yeah, don't again kind of make one thing happen by giving up on everything else, Sorry. So keep your hip on the floor as the leg comes out to the side. 5 breaths there. Oh, and we have another drishti here because it's a state of the asana. We only have drishtis now in the states of the asana. Parshva drishti, you look to the side. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, dwadasha, the right leg comes back in. And then trayodasha, you repeat the first state of the asana, chin towards your shin. And then inhale, chaturdasha, head down, and then panchadasha, exhale, right leg down. And see, when the right leg comes down, Jelena's right hand takes over what the left hand was doing. So now she's straightened that arm. And then inhale, shodasha, left leg up. Same thing here. Saptadasha, exhale, chin to shin, keeping the right arm straight, right palm on the thigh, right foot pointed, left leg straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 breaths here. Ashtadashaya, inhale, head down only. Yekonavimshatihi, exhale, left leg comes out to the side, trying to keep the right shoulder, right hip down. When I do this pose as well, to deepen the work, I try to push my ribs down into the floor. So try not to let yourself, open up and arch the back. Try to tuck the tailbone a little bit and contract the front ribs down and in. Okay, and then after 5 breaths here, we'll go Vimshatihi, inhale, left leg up. Yeka Vimshatihi, exhale, chin to shin. Dwa Vimshatihi, inhale, head down only. This is also the place we always get caught out. People always release the foot as they go down. So you only inhale your head down, and then as you exhale, that's when you release the leg down. And then we do the Vinyasa Chatur Vimshatihi. If you're interested in learning that, in our playlist on the primary series, we have the next, that tutorial is the Chakrasana Vinyasa. So we'll put a link to it. So it's like an accessible pose, but
I don't think it's inaccessible.
not easy, like not accessible to do it the way that we're supposed to do it.
Yeah, it's difficult. Like I always feel so much work in this pose. I feel my core burning, like because you are supposed to actually, it's not just about bringing the leg towards your upper body, it's about lifting your upper body off the floor as well. And so I feel my core engaged right away from that. And then even, on some days, like if I've been hiking and walking the dogs a lot, just even catching the foot, I can feel a lot of stretch in the back of my leg. I find it like a difficult pose. I find it's a pose that emphasizes so much core because you're on the floor, so your balance isn't challenged, of course, and you can kind of be floppy about it and completely relax. Or if you become intentional, you realize it's a lot of containment to do this pose.
Mm-hmm. So just because you're lying back, you don't get to relax.
No, I think that's been established. It's Ashtanga. Gotta work.
Okay, what do you think? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe, like, do something else constructive.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.